What it do, guys, and welcome back to Skate Trips During COVID Part 3. Alright, so let's get straight into the video. So after Madrid, I had to go to northern Spain for some reason to get down to Portugal, which was weird, but it was the only way I was able to do the Interrail pass. So I took the train to Vigo in northern Spain. If you guys have ever heard about that before, but the city actually has a lot of skate spots. Especially down by the harbor. It was kind of hard to find skaters there though, because the weather isn't as great as in the rest of Spain. Not from my experience, at least. It's really freaking steep though. It has escalators everywhere because the hills are so steep. If I ended up living there for a certain amount of years, I'd definitely become a hunchback. Gnarly ass city when thinking about how steep it is. I found this one skate shop called Woodtown. It was kind of a skate shop. I'm not quite sure if the lady in there actually skates, but she knew some of the artists from Element skateboards. So she had a couple decks signed, which was tight. She was telling me a couple stories about those. Anyways, she gave me a free t-shirt in there, which was super nice of her. Anyways, I just stayed there for one day, and then I took the train down to Lisbon in Portugal. When I arrived there, I was, I didn't really know where to go, but I made my way over to my hostel, which wasn't too hard actually. And it turned out my hostel was super dope. It had a freaking pool on the roof. The construction of that pool was very interesting, but pool on the roof, how much better can it get? I wanted to explore Lisbon, so I thought to myself, well, I'll just get one of those freaking bird electric scooters or whatever. But as it turns out, Lisbon is actually also a very steep city, so I could barely even make it up one of the hills with that freaking scooter, which was kind of hilarious, but it was all good. I went to a skate shop. They told me about a bunch of street spots there, which was super nice of them. And that's always something to keep in mind. If you're somewhere you're not really familiar with, always just go to the skate shop and they'll tell you where the parks are, they'll tell you where the spots are, everything. They're definitely your go-to if you don't have any homies. I found this famous spot that people usually skate as a manual pad, which was super tight. I ended up skating there a lot, but in general, I actually ended up finding a tram that I pretty much took it around the entire city. It was like a tour of the city in itself, and I pretty much just went through each of the stops, kind of just explored around and found spots that way. Found these super beautiful ledges, probably the most beautiful spot I've ever skated in my life. View was stunning, and there was a perfect marble ledge. Best feeling ever to skate that. It was so good. I was still just kind of chilling on my own. I hadn't really made friends like I had done the previous times. I kind of started feeling a little bit alone. All of a sudden I met some French people at my hostel that were super nice. They were just having a little conference thing there, and then they ended up inviting me to a birthday party later that week, which was super tight. I think we partied until 5 in the morning. It was super sick actually. But I went and I found Gustavo Ribeiro's local park. It's a skate park, kind of out in the forest a little bit, but it's still relatively close to Lisbon. But that park is super sick. The locals there were super nice too.
Hey. Oh, dude.
As my trip went on, I started feeling more and more lonely in Lisbon. I had the feeling of I had to start over and over all the time. Every time I'd come into a new place, I had to start over, find new friends. It was getting a little bit hard, but then actually after Lisbon, I went to the island across from Lisbon. It's called Costa da Caparica. I took a surf camp there for 8 or 9 days, and it was awesome. The greatest experience ever. I sucked at surfing, but I had such a good time. Definitely met friends for life at that surf camp. It felt like I sort of had a family there because we were all just living in the same house, cooking and just surfing and living life, not worrying about anything, it was the best thing that could have ever happened afterwards. and it was super tight. There was a volunteer that arrived a couple days before I left, and he was from Vigo, like I spoke about earlier, and he recognized the shirt that I got from that skate shop, which was so sick. He was super hyped on that. All in all, Lisbon is amazing for skating. It has so many different street spots, a couple of different skate parks around, but they're kind of far away. It's not too easy to get to them. And yes, it's very hilly, so definitely have to keep the transportation in mind. It's really good to use the metro to get around as well. That's definitely convenient. And I would definitely recommend surfing in Portugal also. Of what I can say, you know, I tried it for 9 days. I still kind of suck at it, but I definitely thought it was a great place to learn it and try it. Try it out, definitely. Oh yeah, shout out Gota d'Agua. Love that surf camp. Definitely want to go back there someday. All in all, it was a great trip, and I'm definitely considering going back to Portugal. Alright guys, stay tuned for the next episode. Next episode is going to be Rome, and I'll be talking about the contest that I went to watch. I hope you guys will stay tuned for that, and I hope you guys get your skate on this weekend. Alright, peace.